Today I am in a P90DL non-refresh as a loaner, and I thought I'd give it a little rundown in comparison with my with my 90D. And there's the dean of this campus. I was just charging at a charge point, and it's common knowledge that the dean of this campus likes icing the charge point station here with his Chevy Volt, and he leaves it parked there all day. So I have a little bit of extra satisfaction today knowing that, and he just drove right past me, started walking in the building. So I basically blocked the charger, and he's in a regular parking space. Obviously he can go out there and move his car, but it looks like he was in a little bit of a hurry today, so probably not going to happen. So, well, I'm just giving a little comparison and rundown. We're going to drive over to Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Actually, we're already in Oak Creek. But we're going to go over to the Drexel Town Square, where Milwaukee County is getting our first supercharger. And now this car is about let's see. This is car number 98,726. So this one is a 2015, and it is about 27,000 cars newer than my 90D. My 90D was built around January 2016, and this one was built in August of 2015. And overall, I really like the feel of this. And after having it, because my car's been in the shop for a week now, they keep waiting on control arms for it, which also went out on my first Model S at 53,000. Well, this time it went out at about 46,000 on my 90D. And they keep getting the wrong part in from the factory. The factory keeps sending the wrong thing. But now I'm having this car for exactly 1 week now. And you know what? These next gen seats actually are starting to grow on me. I'm still among the mindset that if you're a larger person, and Reese, I still don't know how you find them comfortable. I know you're a little bit larger. Reese, but for those of you out there, Reese knows who I'm talking about. But in terms of someone of my size, and I'm a smaller person, this really does kind of cup your back and keep you planted in your seat a little better. Some other things I like, I don't know if you guys can even see this, but by the doors, it still has the old style, much more tough and textured, I'm not going to say armrests, but the paneling up here. And I like that. What's on my car is extremely soft, flimsy. Oh, we're here already. Holy crap, that was quick. Didn't realize I was that close. Really soft and flimsy, and easily gets nicked and scratched. It's like a really poor quality foam with a really thin, really easy to damage material over it. Don't like it one bit, and I think I might actually look into maybe trying to retrofit myself on retrofit these onto my car. And these look better. What's in the newer ones just looks and feels really cheap and crappy. Carbon fiber accents in here, at least with the options that the original owner of this car is. This was a trade-in that they're using as a loaner now. It's got about 37,000, of which I put about 2,000 of those on there since last week. The options that the previous owner of this car chose were actually pretty decent, considering the budget to get a DL version, or a P90DL. This thing's pretty loaded. The sticker price on this one was about $146,000. It's got black leather interior, black Alcantara. It's got the panoramic roof, and I finally get to try out one of my suction cup mounts on the panoramic roof. I don't have pano in my car, And I think if on a do-over, now I hate panos or any kind of roof that opens, because it's not if, just when they leak. But the suction cup mounts to mount my camera up there is really convenient, and I like that, so I'm giving it a try today. I have done a few ludicrous launches, and it feels like to me that maybe it's just because I started off with a 60 rear-wheel drive. Now I'm in a 90D, which is actually slightly quicker than the original P85s. And now going to this, while it does feel quicker, even with the ludicrous full charge, max battery power, it does feel quicker. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm used to it. I'm used to the acceleration of a Tesla, and it's no longer that holy crap difference. Now, compared to guests that I've had riding with me, excuse me. Compared to people that I've had riding with me, yeah, it still has the wow factor for them. And if you can see out the front window, they haven't even broken ground yet here. Permits, everything's been approved, but there's going to be these 10 spaces here that are going to be the new 10-stall supercharger for Milwaukee County in the Meyer parking lot here. So that's it. So we're going to start heading home since they haven't done anything here. My plan is to come every day and take a snapshot while they're building it and show a time lapse, or even twice a day, morning and night, and show us time lapse of the supercharger going in, which I thought that would be really cool. And there's a ton of very high-end apartments and condos right here, which is probably why they put it so close. They're definitely going to nab some business in terms of car sales from those people. Other things that I've noticed, well, this one does not appear to have extended Napa leather trim, as it still has just the standard fake leather, the pleather side panels. The carbon fiber actually fits really nicely in here, and the overall fit and finish is excellent. I don't really see any body panels that are aligned, so they got a good one on this one. I did notice that even at 37,000 miles now, the same noise I had with the suspension on my 90D, it's happening on here, which is telling me this one would need the control arms too. And that seems to be a reoccurring theme, is Tesla's going through control arms and suspension parts. Now this one does have air suspension, which is another thing I personally don't buy, because I can turn the display up a little brighter. Nope, it's all the way. I personally don't do air suspensions either, just like I said with the sunroofs or opening roofs of some sort. It's not if, just when they will fail and have a very expensive repair bill. Now, saying that, I have been playing around with it, and the height adjustment, especially the automatic height adjustment, has been extremely nice. Getting into my kids' parking lot with my car, the kids' school parking lot with my car, I actually have to take it at a slight angle so that way I don't bottom out my battery pack. Whereas on this one, I set it to very high the first time right before I got to the parking lot. And now it remembers it, and every time I go there now from this point on, it automatically sets its ride height. Convenient. Going up. Whee! It's kind of weird. And we can't we can't pass up other features as well. I mean, it's got the XM radio, but the only thing I could listen to is the preview channel, since the XM subscription has expired. Let's get on the freeway. Now, I only got 35 miles of range left. I've done a lot of driving. Like I said, in 1 week I've already done 2,000 miles on this thing. And there's a dealer Prius, and even with only 35 miles left, we already hit the speed limiter of the car that quickly. Not going to be stuck behind a slow little Prius, especially one owned by the dealership. Let's get rid of that. Get off the freeway here. Now, commenting on the air suspension further, well, I do like the raising and lowering portion. I am not a fan of the handling. To me, the handling seems soft and unresponsive, even though there's nothing wrong with the actual air suspension. It seems soft, really soft, and I don't know how I could change that. Now the ride is a little more stiff, a little more bumpy with the coil springs that I have on my 90D. However, the actual road feedback and handling I would rate as considerably better. Now, that could also be due to this car having 21-inch tires as compared to my car's 19-inch tires. And I have the arrows. Although I thought it was supposed to be the other way around, so tires may or may not have something to do with it. And I am keeping them aired up. If you can see the dash screen, I have them a little bit high of a pressure. That's because on this loaner, 3 out of 4 tires actually have nails in them. Yeah, 21-inch tires always seem to be prone to damage and nails and blowouts. So I aired them up a little high, because by tonight I'll have to air them up again. They stop losing air at about 38 to 40 psi, which isn't too bad. At least it stays there. It's functional, but that just seems to be the point at where it stops losing pressure. And now I aired up last night when it was about 65 degrees out, and right now it's 81. So I think that's why the pressure is holding a little better today. We're getting a little bit of a heat wave this September. It was freezing a couple weeks ago, and now we're getting warm. In terms of air conditioning, functions all about the same. Now, this car is not compatible with the plug on my Tesla Spy converter. Otherwise, I really wanted to see exactly how hot the battery pack would be if you hit max battery power to warm up the pack for Ludicrous. Unfortunately, I will not be able to see what that is. Ooh, an Acura ZDX. Snazzy looking car. Would look better if it was electric. Get rid of those exhaust ports. Other features and options, of course, you get a little bit different set of Easter eggs. This is still first generation Autopilot, so it's pretty much the same as my car in that term. Now, my car, I have the EVNX aftermarket center console, which goes here, and I leave it in all the time because I put a lot of things in there. I put my cameras, I put microphone, firearms, I mean, whatever I have, garage door opener. So just, it's a pain in the butt to remove, so I don't remove it if I don't have to. Since now I'm going to this one that does not have the center console in there, and I gotta say, I do miss not having this nice big open space on the bottom here. It's nice. It gives the vehicle a insane roomy feeling in it. That being said, I also do miss the storage, and I think Tesla could have done a lot better of utilizing the armrest console in the Model S. Now, in the Model 3, they remedied that. You can raise up the armrests on the Model 3, and there's storage underneath there. So that's a nice thing they did on the Model 3. The front space is the same as mine, as this is not a refreshed front end. Now, I've gotten to see plenty of refreshed red cars, and now I get to see this one. And there's just something about having that nose cone on the front that says this car is badass. It just, the red multi-coat red cars just don't look right to me. Any of them don't look right without a nose cone on the front. I know some people like having the flat front end. Nose cones aren't needed, but nose cone, I don't know, it just doesn't look right without the nose cone. It just doesn't look like a Tesla to me without the nose cone on the front. Now, they did shove the ugly license plate on the front of this nose cone, but and also from a accident standpoint, if you get an fender bender, you can replace a $150 nose cone instead of having to repaint an entire front bumper or replace an entire front bumper. Just throwing that out there. Ooh, Oak Creek Police, Franklin Police. Better slow down. Let's see, what other differences? Leather interior, this has got the cold weather package, same as mine. It's not cold out, so I really haven't used it at all. The Pano Roof, now, even though I don't like the potential failures, or the eventual failures of opening in panoramic and sunroofs, moonroofs, we did drive around a bit, and I can't open it now because my camera's suction cupped onto it, but we did open it up a bit, and the kids loved it and got a nice breeze through the interior. And especially last night, the weather was absolutely spectacular. It was warm out, the humidity level was just right, had the air conditioning blowing just on load, give that just a little cool breeze mixed in with the nice outside breeze. It was almost quite literally the perfect driving weather. And that's Facebook. What did we sell? Trying to sell some old grills. Yep. So, I mean, I like moonroofs or sunroofs or panel roofs for the actual use of it. I just don't like the maintenance attached with it, or maintenance attached with air suspensions as well. Those are just two things that drive me nuts. Now, that being said, again, back to the air suspension. And the panoramic roof, that just even opens up the spacious feeling of the car even more so. Now back to the suspension. This past summer, Tesla got rid of coil spring suspension option. So now all Model S and X cars must have air suspension. That really, to me, that really kind of sucks, because I'd really rather have coil. Once again, that's just my own personal preference. Another thing I noticed, I can never get my wiper fluid jets to aim right on my car. Adjusted so many times. But this one, it's literally aimed perfect. So it looks like I'm going to go back and try and adjust some more. If I aim it high enough to go over the windshield wiper arm in my car, it actually shoots mostly up and over my roof. On this one, and if I aim it any lower, it hits the arm and pretty much nothing goes on my window. On this one, it just hits right smack dab in the center of that window and just works no problem. Not sure what else to really discuss about this one. Oh, Autopilot. I'm going to see if I can get it to activate. See, now mine activates. No problem on... It's weird. Now, there we go. Considering both cars have Autopilot 1, mine and this one's an earlier iteration of mine, meaning that it's 5 or 6 months older hardware, even though it's pretty much the same thing. In general, this car, and I'm driving the same roads, same thing as mine, this car seems to have less of a problem getting locks on the lane. Freeway, city streets. There we go. This car does a much better job acquiring the lane lines than mine does. And it seems to be a lot more stable staying in a straight line on the freeway. Now that comes up to I've been throwing a lot of theories out lately, and now I actually had to have the windshield on my car replaced because the autopilot camera separated from the windshield. Tesla replaced the autopilot camera about a month after I got the car because I kept getting a lot of driver assistance features unavailable. And replacement of the autopilot camera greatly took care of that. And then, unfortunately, as I was leaving the service center and halfway home, the whole thing fell right off my windshield. And apparently the adhesive didn't stick, and there's a defroster strip on the glass to keep the autopilot camera fog-free. Well, that ripped off the glass, prompting a replacement of my windshield. Kind of sucked. Now, unlike this car, there's a slight bit more waviness on the glass on my car, the replacement glass, that I never noticed on the first one. And I'm thinking there's a potential that waviness in the glass might somehow be affecting the autopilot camera, since it goes smack dab across where the camera is. So I'm going to do a little bit more testing. Now, I keep forgetting to ask service about it, and since my warranty's up in a couple thousand miles, when I go to pick up my car, I'm going to throw that out there as a potential, question. Would this potentially affect it that much? And if it is, maybe I'll push to have another windshield put on. When you pay that much for a car, you shouldn't have waves going through your windshield glass. There's a little distortion around the edges, but in terms of this one, actually, you know what? This one's got it too. It's right here, but it's slightly lower than my car, the one on my car. I don't know. I'll still ask them about it, find out. Just a little drive through the neighborhood here. And that pretty much concludes my current review. Now, I was originally supposed to get a Model X as a loaner, and that would have been awesome because I haven't gotten to really do an in-depth review of a Model X. But somehow, every time I go in, there's no Model X is available. You guys are supposed to hold one for me. So, yeah, that's about it. But that's pretty much the rundown. Now, we're still talking classic body designs here, so maybe next time, if there is a next time, but once my warranty's up, I don't know if I'll be able to afford too much of the service. I'm going to try doing a lot of it myself. But we will see. We will see. Adios, everybody.